Today, I want to talk about another underestimated hormone for women in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. In addition to, you all know one of my favorite hormones is progesterone by now. The next one is testosterone. And in order for me to have that conversation, I want to mention a term called health span. You should all be interested in this term. It refers to your overall quality of life. Specifically, it refers to that period of time where you are free from chronic disease and frailty. In your later years, a good hip fracture is a good death sentence. Within a year of a hip fracture, you're typically not going to make it. Testosterone helps us to prevent that. Testosterone helps us to prevent a number of unwelcome things later in life. It protects your heart, it protects your brain, your cognition, your mood, your ability to build and maintain healthy bone density, and your ability to build and maintain muscle tissue. If you remember from previous videos, unless you do something about it from about the age 25 on, you're losing muscle mass. And muscle mass is what allows you to burn body fat effectively. It's what protects your bones. It's what protects you from frailty and a number of chronic diseases. Okay, so testosterone's a big deal. So let's talk about testosterone specifically as it relates to strength training for a moment, because your muscle is your ultimate longevity drug. So what testosterone allows your body to do is a process called protein synthesis. So you go to the gym, you work out, protein synthesis kicks in to build up the muscle that you break down and to essentially allow you to be stronger for this load that your body now knows you're crazy enough to put you under at the gym. When I say load, I'm just referring to the weights that you're lifting. Okay, so you got your testosterone. Now let's talk about how to put it to use. If you haven't seen my training video that I did several weeks ago on training effectively for fat loss, go ahead and do that now. Today, I'd like to talk about the top mistakes that trainees make. Okay, you got your testosterone, you're going to the gym. Don't make these mistakes. Oftentimes, especially with women, you don't train intensely enough. Now, how do you even determine what intensely enough is? Well, for the average person, or maybe you're new to the gym or you haven't been in the gym in a little bit, you can use the rate of perceived exertion. It goes like this. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say you did a set of 10 squats. At the end of that set, on a scale of 1 to 10, you should give me about an 8. So 1 being super easy, 10 being impossible to move, you should give me about an 8. It's the rate of perceived exertion, and it correlates very effectively to the actual intensity that you're working at. So that means that tells me you're working out at least an 80% intensity. You're giving the body a reason to adapt and grow stronger week after week after week. And don't worry, you're not on super physiological doses of testosterone. You're not going to look like a man, okay? You're not in the 800, 900, 1,000 range. As long as you stay out of that range, you do not have to worry about looking like a man. I lift really heavy weights, and the last time I checked, I don't look like a dude. Please tell me if I do. Next, not training progressively. Every week, especially in the beginning, you should aim to either increase the weight, increase the number of repetitions, increase the number of sets. I don't like you going above 15 repetitions on most exercises because you're kind of working more for strength endurance versus that strength development that we're after. But it doesn't take much. It's important for you to maintain proper form while increasing in weight from week to week, giving the body a reason to grow and adapt. And you can use something as simple as these 2.5-pound plates. As long as you add just a little more, you're giving the body a reason to adapt. It's called the overload principle. Doing too many exercises in sets. Focus on the big money lifts. We're talking deadlifts, squats, bench press, chin-ups, dips, okay? These are big money lifts in that they give you a huge return on investment because they stimulate the central nervous system to develop overall. So you're creating systemic growth throughout the body by utilizing these lifts. Curls, I really wouldn't worry too much about doing curls until until you get to a point where you're really trying to dial it in. At first, you should be focusing on building a good muscular base, and then you can always optimize at the end. Training too frequently. Your body doesn't care about your work ethic. It takes time for muscle to build up. And it's like you go to the gym and create a wound, and then you open up that wound prematurely by going in there the next day. Give your body time to recover, develop, provide you with the strength you need to continue getting stronger week after week. Not tracking workouts. And you don't need a fancy app to do this. You can use a sticky note pad for all I care, but write it down. Treat this like a science experiment. Understand exactly where you were last week. Understand all the variables. For example, if you were to do a leg press, you have to adjust the seat. Okay, so you would want to know exactly where those adjustments are, but you want to mark this down so that you can pick up where you left off next week. So again, you don't want to create too much variation here. Pick an exercise and get stronger at it, because each time you switch that out, your body stops focusing on growing and developing the muscle, and it focuses on learning the new skill of the new movement. So that's a big mistake that I see all the time. It's pushed by the fitness industry because you guys get bored and they sell you what you want, not what you need. Using sloppy form. If you're using sloppy form, you're either rushing or you're using a weight that's just too darn heavy. All right. It should be that 80% intensity at a weight that you can execute with good form. How about this one? Not training legs. Training legs hurts. Okay. Do it anyway. It's the most metabolically active muscle group in the body, and include your butt in that. So everything from the waist down, do not neglect it. Not eating enough protein. Women, you are notorious for this. You need to eat food. You are not a rabbit. You need protein. It provides the raw material for your body to grow and develop muscle. And then lastly, don't waste your money on bullshit supplements. Quit looking for the magic bullet. You got to go in and you got to do the work. You've got the testosterone now. If you just went on the pellets, take about 6 weeks to really begin experiencing the benefits of that testosterone. But as soon as you do, quit looking for the magic bullet. There's no magic bullet more effective than going in, working out at a high intensity, and doing that consistently over time and experiencing those compounding effects. Every time you short circuit this process, you zero those out. All right. So if you want to experience that exponential hockey stick-like growth, you have to have consistency. You have to have those results compound over time. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below, and I will see you next week.